Hi guys, and welcome to a Battlefield 4 tips and tricks video where I'm going to take a look at the gunner seat in the LAV or the tank depending on which vehicle you decide to gun for. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks and walk you through some of my gameplay. I picked up some nice gameplay with a friend the other day on Lan Khang Dam, and I thought it really showcased what you can actually come up with in the gunner seat if you're willing to go on comms with the tank driver and work as a team. You can also work as part of a squad as well and possibly have two tanks working in tandem, or maybe a jet or heli in the sky as well to help you out, and that's always better. But for this one I'll just look at the gunner seat and what you can actually do, what you should be running with, and how you can approach a game in order to come up with a load of kills and keep the tank alive as long as possible. So first of all, what you should actually be running, there's only two real options that you should be going with. Obviously you've got your main gun and then thermal, because thermal makes everything a lot more visible. Some people like to run with zoom. I really don't know why you would. Thermal's definitely the better option. Your secondary, now this is where some people differ. For me, the incendiary is the best. I can pick up a load of kills with it. I can block people off with it, and you know, doorways, windows, staircases, things like that. And you can also fire it at enemy tanks who, when you're in a close quarters engagement with them, throw it on their tank. When their gunner gets out to repair, or they get out to repair, or someone else tries to repair them, you then pick up kills with the incendiary. The other option would be the proximity scan, which again is a very good option. Say you're playing on a map like Zavod or something and you're on those central two flags, having proxy scan is definitely a positive. However, for me, just looking around and being aware of what's around you, knowing the spawns on a map, more than makes up for that, and you can just stick with your incendiary for extra kills. Now, one thing I would mention about the incendiary while we're on that topic is when you fire it, you can then not get out and repair your own tank if the incendiary is near you. We saw that just before on the video in the background. I had to wait until the incendiary died down or my tanker had backed off. And the reason for that is you obviously can take friendly fire from your own weapons, your own explosives, your own incendiary. So I think it takes you down to 2 HP, so it does 98 damage to you. You can't quite kill you if you're on full health, but still, being on 2 HP and having to get out and rep is not ideal. So bear that in mind if you're using the incendiary. Definitely use it as much as you can, fire it in all directions, block off doorways, windows, everything you can, because it does reload fairly fast. But don't fire it too close to your tank. Say there's someone with C4 and you fire it near the tank, you then can't get out and repair without probably killing yourself in the process. One of the other tips that I definitely have for the gunner seat, it's not all about aim. As a gunner, if your aim isn't that good, the tank driver's not going to mind. That's not an issue. As long as you're looking out for things and protecting them from things that could hurt them, and you're getting out and repairing as you should, you're running with a repair tool, an RPG. If you have to, if your aim's bad, you can run with the MBT law. There's nothing terribly wrong with that. Admittedly, I do hit on lock-ons quite a lot, but the MBT law is, it's broken in the game. It goes through APS half the time, so it is probably a good option to use as a gunner. Jump out and fire it. The only thing with the RPG is that it will reload itself in the tank. So if you're running with an RPG, you fire it, you can then just click the reload button, get back in your tank, it will reload on its own inside the tank. When you get back out, you just fire it. You don't ADS, you just fire it, and it will do like a glitchy little fire, but it still fires. You don't need to do the full reload on it. I did a little poll on my Twitter the other day just to ask which weapons people were running with mainly, SMOR, RPG, SRAW, or lock-ons, and it came back with the SMOR and the RPG locked at the top. The SRAW and lock-ons were a bit lower down. Admittedly, not many people probably wanted to admit to a lock-on, but it seems like the RPG and SMOR are the favourites, and for me the RPG is definitely the favourite for me, especially with that reload bug that you can get. As for my sensitivity in the gunner seat, this is one of the main reasons I have a bit of trouble with my long-range aiming. I have my vehicle sensitivity at 22%, I think, between 20 and 22%, and I have 800 DPI on my mouse. Now that is quite high, but I like to be able to do these weird little flick shots with the tank in the main driver's seat, so I can move the turret very, very quickly. And the same in the gunner seat of the helicopter, I like my sensitivity quite high. This is really useful if I'm going to be the main driver, but as a gunner, obviously I'm operating a 50 cal machine gun. You want low sensitivity if possible, and then a big mouse mat so you can move your mouse around. Now for the main tips for a gunner. What should you be doing when you're in the gunner seat? Whenever I'm driving a tank and somebody gets in, number one, they have to be an engineer and they have to have a repair tool. You're in a gunner seat, you have to be able to do that. All of you on this channel will know that. If you jump in as a medic or something, just jump out or let the driver know. He may want you in there to shoot stuff, but as long as he knows, he might have someone in his squad who can spawn in and help him out. The point is, you're an engineer as well as a gunner. Secondly, You need to look out for blind spots. The tank driver, remember, has a restricted field of view. He can't look up as high as you can. He can't look around corners just as you can. Remember, you can use a third person as well to check out things, although I don't use it a massive amount in this video. You should be looking up into windows. You should be firing incendiaries into doorways, doing all that stuff, trying to restrict the enemies as much as you can. When it gets really hectic, as you'll see now, we've got some gameplay on Lankang Dam on Echo Flag. You need to be looking out for C4 monkeys and parachuters and things like that. Watching now as we roll onto the flag, I'm watching that right hand side. I don't take the go out because my aim isn't that good, but I've put an incendiary there. I've hit him a couple of times. I'm watching the right, using my thermal to take out that guy with C4 straight away. If I wasn't there, my tanker probably would have he would have been hit by a bit of C4. That's what you should be doing as a gunner, checking out all these angles and picking up kills like that. The next thing I'd recommend doing, as you saw in the background there, on Delta Flag, I'm firing incendiaries to pick up hit markers. If you fire an incendiary, and you start to get hit markers, as you see in the background now, I know someone's up there. I pick up a 99 kill assist. I know the guy's up there. He actually dies in the process, but it's a really good way of checking whether people are there. Say you don't know the spawns on a flag. You could be firing these incendiaries to work them out. Also, be wary, if your driver hits APS, you can't fire an incendiary. It gets blocked by the APS. So if you hear the APS go, don't fire an incendiary. It will fly in front of you and blind you through the thermal. So just bear that in mind. It's another Battlefield bug, but something that you can kind of avoid and you don't need to worry about too much. Now we have some more gameplay on Delta Flag, and at this point we're under a little bit of pressure. As you see, my driver is facing the wrong way to engage those enemies, but the right way to restrict all of the tanks in front of him from getting a rear shot on him. Unfortunately, he does take a big hit there, and then he does have to swivel his tank round. I'm out straight away repping this because we have the flag capped. I'm not too worried about things hitting us. Right at that point, he sees a grenade coming in, he says it's too much, and he backs off, and it starts to get a little hectic. Again, looking at that little graphic on screen underneath the kill feed in the center of the screen, you can see which way the tank's pointing, remembering the rear of the tank is the most vulnerable on this game, so you really need to make sure that you've got that covered as a tank driver, and as a gunner you are watching out for the rear, especially rear and the sides. Hopefully this video helped you. It was a bit more extensive and I looked at some gameplay in the background. I'm thinking of doing a couple of these for Battlefield 1 when that comes out. We're going to have some really nice squad gameplay. I've got a nice squad ready to record some stuff in the beta. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below and let me know what else you want to know for Battlefield 4, because the numbers are through the roof at the minute on PC, as DICE are seeming to give the game away for virtually free right before the beta and obviously the full Battlefield 1 game comes out. Thanks for watching again, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.